I will speak to you today on rhythms, something which we are all having an experience, starting with our heartbeat to the majestic and roaring Chandamelam, the Kerala drum. Rhythm is nothing but any event that repeats. Very often, that event is a sound event, an event made up of human sound or a sound of an instrument. And we can produce a rhythm by just having an event with our own body. You can, for example, you can clap. In different ways, you can clap. This is another way. Yet another way is you keep repeating, it produces a sensation of rhythm. In some way, you can say everything is a rhythm. So rhythm can be produced with the body, with instruments. But what I want to do today is explain rhythm through something that is very easy to grasp. Rhythm produced with our language. Rhythm produced with human sound, speech. So let me tell you the simplest example. The simplest example would be to use the word rhythm. Just repeat it. Rhythm, 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 rhythm. It produces rhythm. I want to show you examples of how rhythm can be produced by just speaking. And you can produce a variety of rhythms which actually will cover rhythms all over the world in various different cultures. So I've picked some words carefully. I will explain to you how I picked the words. But let us listen to these words and see the rhythms that they produce. We start with first a few words with 3 letters. Chadula, Chapala, Letika, Lalida, Kamala, Maria, Aruma, Padita. So these are just words I picked, nonsense words or words which do not connect to each other, but it produces a rhythmic effect. You can also do it in English if you wish. So merrily, liberal, readily, general, several, melody, remedy, cinema. This also produces the same rhythm. I've carefully chosen those words. And how that choice is made, I will explain in a moment. And now look at another rhythm. Next one. Padam, Mukham, Nakam, Sukham, Jalam, Rasam, Agam, Puram. This is same as rhythm, 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 rhythm. Yet another one. So this is a different class. The first two were of a particular class. This is Adipiti, Kadipiti, Kalapila, Tadayuga, Bukhavila, Parayuga, Tadavara, Pulayuga. So this is yet another one. This is a very famous one all over the world. This is of the same category but still different effect. Lalitam, Padanam, Ganitam, Kadinam, Chadulam, Vadanam, Kamalam, Jalajam. Just by reciting these words, you are producing rhythms. So this is yet another one. And this falls into a different category altogether. Simandam, Hemandam, Samandam, Prarambam, Bhugambam, Kadattam, Kemattam, Anandam. Another one. Kalapam, Nirasam, Vilapam, Viramam, Varamo, Tarangam, Telegram, Diagram. Now we have one with, this is also a different case where you have a longer duration of each word. Maranavum, Jananavum, Sharanavum, Adimidum, realism, pessimism, nihilism, feminism. So this creates yet another class. Actually, by reciting these words, I have gone through very, very important, popular, famous, both classical and folk rhythms of the world, not just in our country. This is a wonderful rhythm, that pattern, sub-pattern of rhythm that is very peculiar to Kerala, because Adhyalma Ramayana begins with this. Palatavana Adi Madura Lalita Pada Madura Muri Varanamini Chadulamiri Pranaya Mara Kadalalagal. You know why I introduced rhythm with words, with human sound, is that to talk of rhythm produced by instruments will be highly technical, and people who are not professionals in that area may find it very difficult to understand what is being talked about. But talking about rhythm produced by human speech is very easy to understand and describe. So to do that, I classify all human utterances into two: a long syllable or a short syllable. We call it Guru and Laku in India. So Guru is syllable that takes a longer duration compared to a laku which takes a shorter duration. We will technically call the first one taking 2 units of time, the second one taking 1 unit of time. So a, e, ka, ki, etc. They are longer syllables. They have a elongation, whereas a, e, ka is just 1 unit each. So all rhythms, take it for granted, all rhythms are produced by combinations of gurus and lakus. That makes it very simple to understand. Let us see examples. Next. So in India, we have, in the West, you would actually talk about rhythm by using the sounds or numbers 1, 2, 3. For example, you could say one rhythm is like this: 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now that is not very aesthetic. The Indian tradition is to make it very aesthetic. So we have carefully chosen syllables, standard syllables. They are ta, ri, ka, ki, da, di, mi, jo, nu. Those are the short syllables. And long syllable is just one, dim. So it takes a longer duration. And you combine this very gracefully, you can start producing rhythms. So we start doing that. And you will hear the sounds which I made earlier with the words. You will hear with ta, ri, ki, da, and dim. Let us see. So the simplest rhythm you can make, I earlier said rhythm is just repetition of events. You take a short syllable and repeat it. Ta, 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 ta. So you do that, you get a very boring rhythm. Nobody is interested to listen to this. So to give it more character, what I do is, I change the second event to a different one. So I say, takka, 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 takka. Slightly more interesting, still boring. So you make it 3, and you get a very famous rhythm. Takkita, 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 takkita. You could also call it 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But that would be very unaesthetic, whereas takkita is very aesthetic. You can now go on to make it 4 instead of 3. You get a most popular rhythm all over the world. In India, it is called Adi Talam. Adi means the primordial rhythm. So that is takka dhimi, takka dhimi, takka dhimi. To make it more aesthetic, you also have the second one pronounced using a different style. Takka dhimi, takka jannu, takka dhimi, takka jannu. You could also say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That is unaesthetic. You would say takka dhimi, takka jannu, takka dhimi, takka jannu. There is some joy, a little bit of music in that saying. That is what makes it different. Then you can have 5, which is also very Indian. Taka takita, taka takita, taka takita, taka takita. 5 each, 5 short syllables each. That is what you heard earlier as Pala Tavana Adi Madura, Madura Mudi. And you can also have combinations of this. You take the 3 unit one and the 4 unit one, combine together, you get a very Indian rhythm. And this goes like this: takita taka dhimi, takita taka dhimi, takita taka dhimi. So these are combinations. I think you can actually create rhythms of your own, but you will surprisingly find that this 2, 3, 4, 5, and 7 are the only unique ones. The others can be produced by doubling or halving, and so they are not very interesting. So these are the most famous rhythms all over the world. India has some of these rare rhythms which are very popular. All cultures need not have that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, I will try to tell you this, describe to you these 2 rhythms with 3 letters and 4 letters alone. We have only time to do that. So with 3 letters, takita, 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 this takita is having 3 short syllables. So I can take 2 short syllables, remove it, and put a long syllable there, so that the total is 3. So takita, you remove the skida and put a dim, and then you get tadim. And then the rhythm becomes tadim, 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 tadim. If you want, you can replace the first 2, then you would get dim, ta, dim, ta, dim, ta, dim, ta. You can produce combinations of this. Takita, ta, dim, takita, ta, dim. Or you can put tadim, takita, takita, ta, dim. You get to create, you can weave combinations of these rhythmic patterns, and you are on course to make rhythm. So this is played in instrument in a different way, that is all. But you can actually vocalize these rhythms. Now let me tell you 2 examples of songs in this rhythm. One is a very Indian song. Actually, this 3-beat rhythm gives a boom boom effect. So it is very good for like revolutionary songs and all that. So you could, the famous song in India is Jadada Viggala Jala Pravaha Pavidastale. It creates boom boom effect. And in the West also you have the boat song of the Americans. I think you must have heard of. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Now this uses the same beats, but it introduces silence also. Instead of tadim, it says dim. And the rest is assumed, the space is assumed. So how does it sound in Indian way? Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Dim, 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 ta dim, takita, dim. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Takita, dim. So you can actually read the rhythm behind whatever you are saying. When somebody says a slogan also, you can actually find out what is the rhythm behind it. When you do copywriting, you can actually write a rhythm and then write a text over it so that it sounds very interesting. Because rhythm, when I end my talk, I will tell you, creates joy and it unifies people. I will mention that towards the end. Now, similarly, you have also these 4-letter rhythms. Takka dhimmi. I said takka dhimmi, takka junu. Best example is our national anthem. Janagana mana adhinayaka jaya he. Janagana. It's actually 4 letters, 4 short syllables. Takadimi. Adhinayaka. Adhina. Adhi is 2 short syllables. Na is a long syllable. So it sounds like takadimi, 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 dim taka. So you can actually pull out those letters and put taka and dim there and create that rhythm. And this is famous all over the world. It is one of the most common rhythms in the world. And I can reel out examples of it. But today I only do one. You know, the famous poet in Kerala who was an expert in rhythm is Kunjan Nambiar. And I think his phrases are very well known. Pandan Nayuda Pallini Choiryam Pande Pole Balikkinnilla. Do you realize when people in Kerala speak, they very often fall into this rhythm? So on a notice, we find somebody writing, the minister is inaugurating something, a protest, and it is written, Pragadanavum Pudu Sammelanavum. You don't understand it is Kunjan Nambiar's rhythm. But if you join it with his lyrics, you will understand. Pragadanavum Pudu Sammelanavum Pande Pole Balikkinnilla. And so you realize that it is the same rhythm. And now I want to tell you this very interesting point, that while music pulls you inside, rhythm makes us come together in unison. I will just explain that with an example. I said this boom boom kind of rhythms get people to unite. Look at this slogan shouted in a march. Sujana, Sujana, Sujana Matram, Sujana Kandu Padichillengil. This is actually Kunjan Nambiar's rhythm. Su, cha, na. Su is a long syllable, cha, na is short syllable. So actually what is being said is dim taga, dim taga, dim taga, dim dim. So it gives boom boom effect. And this song or this shouting, when it happens, we don't just hear it. We react to it with our muscles. That is the beauty. When you hear music, you listen to it and then your brain actually arranges for your enjoyment. But when you hear rhythm, you listen to rhythm, the brain processes it like everything else, but there is somebody else who reacts, your muscles. So if you look at the Trishur Puram, you find that a large sea of people are connected together through a string of rhythm. They all move in unison. So when you experience rhythm, you know that your neighbor is also having the same experience because their body moves in the same fashion. But when you hear music, you don't know what somebody else is experiencing. It is very personal and deep inside them. It is like a meditational vibe. We cannot understand what somebody else is experiencing. So I would like to end this talk with a very interesting comparison between a strike led by rhythm and a strike led by music. So if a strike is led by rhythm, sujana, sujana, sujana matram, the people following the leader, they fall in sync with the leader, they follow the march. And they, when they pump their hand in the air, it all falls in sync. The rhythm helps to do that. So everybody is united. But just imagine if the leader for a moment decided, let me make it musical, the slogan musical. What would happen? I think the whole march would collapse. Sujana, Sujana, Sujana Matram has no music in it. So if I add music, how will it look like? The leader shouts. You cannot call it a shout anymore. So the leader says, Sujana, Sujana, Sujana Matram, Sujana Kandu Padikyu. So if leader does this, then the march is gone. People all would fall into their own, inner experience. They would start enjoying that the march would lose, its punch and its aggression. That is the difference between rhythm and music. Many people think that rhythm is a property of music or something that happens along with music. But the best answer for this happens in Trichure every year, the Trichure Puram. It's not music. It is a rhythmic performance. The rap that young people enjoy is not music. It is a rhythmic performance. And that is why young people actually are very attracted easily into it, because at that age, what really matters is being together, enjoying the togetherness. So rhythm unifies. It is a universal phenomena. It is not related to any particular culture. Rhythm unifies. It is a joy that, a very special joy that culture has created. And I am sure that we have all experienced it and we will continue to experience with a little bit more of understanding based on what I said today. Thank you very much.